Every day, millions of people pass through the UK's airports, ports, and border crossings without incident. But hidden among ordinary travelers are smugglers who will risk everything: freedom, careers, even national security, to sneak illegal goods into the country. From drugs concealed inside everyday objects to airline staff abusing their trusted status, the UK Border Agency is in a constant and unseen battle. A single nervous glance, a bag that doesn't look quite right, or a sniffer dog suddenly freezing in place can make all the difference between a clean entry and an arrest. What starts as a routine arrival can turn into a life-changing moment in seconds, as officers utter the words no traveler ever wants to hear: "You under arrest." Today, we go behind the scenes with UK border officers as they work on the front line of this hidden war. At major airports like Manchester and Gatwick, and at high-pressure ports such as Dover, officers have to use intelligence experience and highly trained sniffer dogs to uncover drugs, illegal tobacco, and prohibited food before it reaches British streets. Smugglers use increasingly ingenious methods: sewing cocaine into baseballs, stuffing thousands of cigarettes into luggage, or quietly carrying banned meat products through arrivals, thinking that they won't be noticed in the crowds. But border enforcement is about spotting the tiny details and asking the right questions at the right time. You will see in this video how ordinary journeys turn suspicious in a split second, how honest mistakes come with serious consequences, and how one wrong decision at the border can cost much more than anyone may ever imagine. This is a routine arrival from Pakistan at Manchester Airport, which very quickly arouses suspicion. One of the passengers clearly struggles with a heavy-weighted bag that bulges in an unnatural way. Inside, they find nearly 10,000 cigarettes, far beyond the legal allowance. When questioned, the man admits he planned to sell them, a serious offense on its own. But it gets far worse when officers learn he works for the airline and abuses his privileged travel status. As a translator arrives and tensions rise, a further search reveals cannabis resin in his pocket, turning what had been a bad decision into a potentially career-ending mistake over at Gatwick's cargo terminal. Hundreds of incoming parcels are checked by border officers and sniffer dog Diesel. Most seem innocuous, but then Diesel becomes very interested in a package from Venezuela, a known source country. Trainers, clothes, and baseballs are inside, completely ordinary to the naked eye. Save for some tampered stitching on one ball, the officers cut it open, and a white powder spills out. A field test goes blue cocaine. Smugglers had hoped the simple, sporty item would get through. It was found out because of one well-trained dog and the attention to detail of one officer. At the port of Dover, intelligence teams flag a lorry connected to a previous heroin seizure. The driver is defensive, visibly uncomfortable as officers ask if he's willing to let a sniffer dog search the vehicle. The law allows officers to search the vehicle without the driver's consent, but his resistance ups the suspicion meter. Sniffer dog merely inspects the cab in a trailer full of frozen meat as officers conduct a thorough inspection. After hours of searching, nothing illegal is found. There isn't an arrest in this stop, but it is an example of how intelligence-led policing works, and how not every investigation ends with handcuffs. The officers stationed in the airport terminals deal with a very different type of smuggling. Prohibited food. Most flights coming from outside the EU carry passengers with sausages, cheese, and meat products in their luggage, oblivious to strict biosecurity laws. Sniffer dogs alert the officers with suitcases that hide food items. The explanation of officers to passengers, who are often embarrassed or confused, is that animal products can bring on serious diseases. Sausages and patties are seized, sometimes with disappointment, but usually without penalty. Small seizures with big implications for country agriculture and public health. Finally, a returning EU traveler is stopped with a large amount of tobacco. She readily declares and explains that she was going to recover the cost price from friends. Officers patiently explain that while personal consumption is allowed, receiving payment even at costs is illegal. The woman grows nervous, but listens carefully as the rules are made clear. In the end, the benefit of doubt is extended, and she is allowed to proceed. It's a reminder that honesty, understanding the rules, and officer discretion can make the difference between a warning and a fine. Every decision counts at the border, from airline employees with lifetime careers to risk it all for a fast buck, or smugglers with strings of hidden cocaine revealed only when regular objects are displayed to travelers breaking the rules without even knowing it. They can result in shock and immediate punishment. UK border officers don't just block criminals, they protect public health, national security, and the country's very fabric. Sharp instincts, full backing of the law, and with highly skilled sniffer dogs, they are one step ahead of all those who think that they can get through unnoticed. Because on the UK border, there is no small detail, no harmless way to bend the rules, and no second chances if the law is crossed.